What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast. This is episode 269. Before I get into my guest for today's episode, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor for this episode, Freedom Act Lubbock. So shout out to them for coming on, for sponsoring this episode. Freedom Act Lubbock is calling all citizens to exercise their right to vote to decriminalize low-level marijuana possession in the city of Lubbock. The clock is ticking and the deadline for voter registration is fast approaching. Register before March 22nd at the Lubbock County Elections Office, which is located at 1308 Crickets Ave, Monday through Friday between the hours of 8 to 5 p.m. so that you're ready when early voting starts on April 22nd. Whether you're a seasoned voter or a first-timer, your voice matters. Don't miss out. Let's make our voices heard. To learn about Freedom Act, visit them at freedomactlubbock.org. Shout out to Lubbock, the Freedom Act Lubbock campaign, for paying for this ad. Thank you, guys. A few things I'll say about that is that you have until March 22nd to vote, register to vote, which is in about 6 days, so you guys go do it. I've talked about it many times. We're going to have many guests on here before. In the future, it's important that you go vote, man. If you want to see change, you got to vote. It really does matter. I believe it matters at a local level, so go out and vote. Go register to vote if you haven't already. And thank you to Freedom Act Lubbock for sponsoring this episode. My guest for today is Rikky Lee Reed. Shout out to this boy. He's a comedian here in Lubbock, Texas. He's a funny guy. He also hosts a podcast called Fuck You Do on Spotify. Check it out. I've been on there one time before, so shout out to Rikky. And it's a fun time. I enjoy talking to comedians. We get to kind of just shoot the shit, have a little bit of fun, and be a little bit more free. So thank you, guys. Thanks to Freedom Act. And thanks to Rikky for coming on. I hope you enjoy.
This is where they got the big cases, right? And they got all kinds of different varieties of bongs. Mm-hmm. You know, maybe I am shopping for a bong, and one of those bongs is going to scream at me. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's going to scream at you like I'm the bong that you came here to buy.
I have no idea. I have no idea what you're talking about.
You don't smoke no...
Fuck no.
No?
I was actually thinking about it last time I got high. Horrible.
Oh, yeah, you told me you trip too much when you're on weed. Yes. Earlier you were saying that.
It sucks.
Hell yeah. You seem like...
Nope. Nope.
You would benefit.
Well, yeah.
I've benefited from other ways to alleviate.
You would experience childlike wonder if you just smoked a bowl.
Just broke that barrier.
Yeah, just take a rip from a bong.
I finally figured it out. You know who told me?
Your shoulders would relax.
You know who? Yeah, they would. Yeah. Andrew Schultz, you a fan of his?
Yes. I mean...
He explained it perfectly because I was listening to him talk, and he said he was high, and they were playing FIFA. And the problem was the game would happen, and then he'd hear, like, people cheer. So that's what happens when I get high. Like, your lips will move, and everything will move, and then there's like a half-second delay, and then I'll start hearing you talking. So
what?
It's very...
No fucking way, dude.
That's how I know I'm fucked up.
That would trip me the fuck out.
It really gives like my hair stick up. I'm like...
But in that same respect, you're usually fucked up.
Super fucked up.
By
Real
the time
life
you
starts lagging.
Like, I haven't smoked a joint sober ever, I don't think, in my life.
Oh, yeah. You gotta be drunk enough to say yes to something like that. Yeah. Otherwise...
Well, no. That's a lie, because back whenever I was trying to smoke with Jim, I was sober, but I thought I could smoke with the big dogs, smoking the whole blunt with them.
You were not sober.
Well, when I was smoking with Juan one time, I was like chilling.
Mm-hmm.
And even then I was like, oh shit. I started reading The Last Babylon. It just gets weird. When
you started reading Last Babylon? This motherfucker got high and picked up a book?
No, I was at the
never
bar.
Heard of that shit
I was
before.
at Capital Pizza, and I was like, Juan, I'm so fucked up. I got to read this book. Yeah, that's what happens. I don't like it, bro. I don't like it.
So maybe that did help when you just get lost in words and you don't got to worry about interacting with people. No, I never.
It's about so in the 50s, the Russians set off a nuke in the sky. So everything, it's like the grid goes down. Nobody dies, but all electrical things go out. So no, that was a horrible book to read when I was in that state.
Dude, that might happen soon.
That's exactly what I was thinking too. We would be so fucked.
It would be China though. I think China might. The only thing that makes me feel You know, it's not totally like it's all about to go to shit, because China obviously wants to take over the world. If there's going to be a next big world superpower, it would be China. That's what I've heard. But I have faith in the incompetence of China's military. I don't think they have their shit together enough to invade anybody. They can't even hang on to Taiwan.
I'll say this. I got two things to say about that. Number one being, I don't even know if it's about their incompetence so much as our superiority of our military. Nobody would even try to touch us. Nobody would even.
Do you know though about the whole theory that with the whole migration thing that's going on, that these are all fighting age men, and if you promise them citizenship in exchange for doing military service, essentially the wrong people in the government can cultivate an army that has no problem with locking up American citizens and doing those kinds of things. They said this on Joe Rogan in an episode. Do you remember?
With Dr. Phil? He just said this yesterday.
Oh, he said that yesterday, yeah.
But that's what I was telling my stepdad. But they've been doing that forever, allowing people to get citizenship.
Yeah. Yeah, but now there's like a massive influx.
That's true. But also migrants. Think about, this is what him and Dr. Phil were talking about. Like, you're escaping China. So how many are actually like, fuck this place? This is the worst place on earth.
So I was saying under that, so they're running away from shitty places.
How many are actually running away and how many are going to come and fuck some shit up?
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I think it's a little bit of both.
And you know what, that does make sense. And it's hard to tell which ones, you know.
You don't know.
It's just one of those situations where, I think the border, I do believe in obviously being an asylum for people who are fleeing, you know, horrible situations. I don't want anybody to live in those kinds of situations. But but it's just such a tricky thing to figure out who's who. But, you know, I think one of the best ways to do it, which is fucked up, would just be, okay, the border is open for women and children. And that's it. Just women and children can come through.
I'm with you.
That would be. I mean, I'm a man, and I believe like in you know equality and men's rights and stuff like that. And that's a weird thing to say, especially in the modern days, men's rights. But because who in the end does control the rights are men. So, but it is men would be the problem.
Never mind. I didn't even know that. Yeah. I mean.
I'm not obviously women and children and families that are trying to flee horrible situations. There's no reason why it should be hard for them to be able to come here to America.
100% with you. You know what the fucked up shit is? The real fucked up shit for somebody like me, a real red-blooded true patriot, is a lot of the times they're fleeing is because of things we've done as a country. They're fleeing countries that we went in and fucking completely destabilized. And now they're coming here because of us. Yeah,
and this is going to create situations. It's going to be a lot of turmoil in the beginning. You know, that's no matter what. That's what's happening. That's what's going to go on. It's, you know, but I hope that it's just this big reset I've heard about. That
happened during the pandemic. Dude,
I don't know.
Do you want to get into it? Because I heard about a real big reset coming.
The 2030 reset? Is that what you're talking about?
No, this has something to do with what we were just talking about. Is they're going to... Oh, that was my whole point with China, is we're going to prop them up as the enemy when they're really nothing. And so the idea is this great reset is coming because we all have this, like, it has to do with, like, basically moving into a online monetary system. Central bank, world current, online currency. Yeah. What some people say, not me, I just listen. This is one podcast, is there's going to be this, like this time period where the internet goes out and everybody's going to be like, they say like a month, a few weeks, and it's going to reset everything. So now now your money is gone. My money's gone. Now in order to get your money back, you have to sign up to an online digital currency. Sounds all right. Well, then you have your this is a way for them to control you through like, now your vaccine passport is connected to that. Your medical history is connected to that. All these things are going to start getting connected to this digital currency. Oh, hey, and then look at China. Oh, look, he talked bad about the government. You can't buy groceries today, So
that's the why to keep to be in power. But I feel like a lot of the people that are really pulling the strings, like we don't even know who they are. Do you ever think that? that there's like secret people. You know, we know about the Elon Musk. He's just a super rich guy, and the Jeff Bezos, or the people, government officials, Vladimir Putin. Like, is he the end all be all of the Russian control in the Russian government, or is he just a face? You ever think about that?
Oh, he's the end all be all of Russia, yeah.
But there's nobody pulling his strings.
Here's what here's literally like a shift I've. This is Rikky, by the way, comedian.
Oh yeah, we never even did an introduction.
Here's a weird thing. Here's a weird thing. So I have Rikky Lee Reed, that's you.
Yeah.
And I have a Rikky D. Y'all both messaged me at the same time. I'm like, who the fuck? I'm like, because I was talking to him about Joe Exotic, and I was like, why are you talking to me about Joe Exotic? But it was him, so I was getting confused. But we have Rikky Lee Reed.
Yes.
Here, comedian. Here's the thing. I've gathered in the last weeks. I'm nobody, by the way. I don't know shit. The truth is boring. I think the truth is boring. And this is coming from a kid who loves conspiracy. I love conspiracy talk. But I really don't think it is these. Yeah. It's just probably these guys that we've literally just mentioned want to keep the power. And there's some agencies. You can look up who works for who. Blackmail people into doing their bidding. It's literally probably what, the CIA, all them guys, they probably... some other intelligent agencies that just want to maintain power. And also the other fucked up thing is I think this might be the way it is.
What do you mean? Just the way it is?
Like, with the internet,
with
people,
all these
people
crazy
are like,
people.
Well, people are looking at things like, this is fucked up, we have to do this. And, like, what if we have to do these really fucked up things in order for you and I and Jen and the American people to chill out? Like, what if that's just the way the hard reality, like, it sucks, and maybe...
Well, you're chilling out right now.
I mean, shit's not bad. Think about it, though.
Shit's really, not bad right now.
Really isn't bad.
A lot of things changed in the last few years. There was a huge amount of people that came into this country.
But
if they stay here, it's going to affect this country for sure. It's going to change it, and I hope it is for the better. I hope it doesn't go bad.
Depends on who's it for the better for. You know what I mean?
Everybody would be the best case scenario, but
you can. That's one of the things that you can look at it from both sides, and maybe they'll vote one way, or maybe they'll come here. They're coming here and causing crimes and shit. I don't fucking know, but.
Well, like you said, there's all kinds of different people coming across the border, and
it is also an election year. We're not taking that into fact. So the media is just fucking running shit 24/7.
Do you think that that's going to affect the vote?
No.
Do you think that they're going to be able to No. I don't know. I watch a lot of reels.
I don't know enough. I know it's not going to affect the votes here, and that's all I'm worried about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm only worried about Lubbock.
Yeah, there's 25 states, right? That are backing Abbott and everything he does.
I'm not even talking about that. Look, let me tell you something, man. If the national election, I don't care about, because again, whoever's president, Biden, Trump, me and you are gonna be able to go to work. We're gonna be able to podcast. We're gonna be able to go to shows. Shit ain't really gonna change. But if you look at it at a local level, that's where it really matters. And I can tell you this for certain, brother. Nobody in this town votes, but 10% of the population, and we all know that who that 10% of the population who is that votes. That's just the way it's been. Yeah. We do. It's like, I'm only worried about Lubbock, and there ain't shit gonna change in Lubbock. I would say do your research and look it up. Adam Hernandez really does seem like he gives a fuck.
I don't know shit about local politics.
This is where you should. If you ask me, I think you should care about local more than you do about who's the president.
We did a podcast with Adam Hernandez before he announced his that he was running, and not even picking sides or anything, but that's a really educational one. Just learning about Lubbock, it's certain statutes, certain zoning laws, things that just have been in effect that have no use to be in effect. It's just, I would encourage you to listen to it. It's just really educational.
And again, the truth is boring because people are like, well, it's this and that. It's nobody's voting for these people who make the policies that they've enacted. It's all fair game, I think. I've seen it from him. It's all been fair because nobody's voting for they're elected officials who make the rules here.
And if anything,
what
that's really what I took from it. It's just like you can put all these like fear mongering terms on all these infographics all you want, but at the end of the day, you're not getting up and doing shit about it, like voting. So it doesn't really fucking matter what you're sharing on Instagram.
Yeah, so that's what I mean.
I hate to say it that way, but I mean, you're not thinking about the boring shit that matters, those little things that matter.
Yeah, it's really fascinating to look at when you see how it's played out here. Again, because I think this is really what matters in Lubbock, and maybe at a state level. But you watch it play out, you're like, oh, no wonder why these guys are fucking in office, because you're sitting back and doing nothing.
No, and I believe that because, like, okay, like, not to, like, sit on it too long or anything, but, like, do you agree, like, politics aren't what they used to be? Like, does this make sense? Like, even, like, the last election, like, the election before then, like, we were seeing debates constantly. Like, we were seeing, I don't know, like, there was just a lot more information on both parties. Like, I don't know, like, just...
I think Trump changed that, yeah.
You know what I mean?
He changed what politics is.
Yeah.
But I feel like nowadays, like, what I know of politics, unless, like, you are actually, like, looking into it yourself and, like, doing your own, you know, like, what is this, what is that, whatever. Like, you're just receiving whatever from an Instagram page or a Twitter post or whatever, and it's usually geared towards one side, and it's something to scroll by. It's not anything you have to, like, actively listen to or anything. And I think that's a big problem. Like, that's, like, definitely a big hand into, like, how it's easily avoided and, like, shrugged off, which is why the generation that is voting, you know, or the age group that is voting is sweeping, because I don't know, they're not on that
older
shit.
people.
It's older
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
It's the 10% that are voting are the rich old people, rich old white people, rich old Mexicans, which all are in the same category anyways. That's who it is.
Yeah, just rich old people.
I would say, or just old in general. But they all seem to be, especially in Lubbock, conservative Christians. That's who's voting in these elections. It was really weird because when he came on, we actually looked at the counter. Of the 260,000 people in this town, 190,000 are registered to vote, which was shocking to me anyways. But less than 10,000 voted in the last election.
Damn.
Yeah. I was like, oh, yeah, this is why these things are happening.
So what's going on in the town?
Can you move that, there you go.
What's going on in the town? Like,
what do you mean?
With the,
I don't know who's for who.
I mean, Lubbock seems to be, I guess, holding together all right.
Yeah,
I mean,
in
there's
some
a lot
ways,
of construction.
And that's a
in
reason why there is a lot of
specific
construction, is because they want to develop certain areas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just, there's a lot of money here. This is, where's that money being allocated? Well, who controls that money? City council and all those folks. Who's voting for them? Those 10%. You know what I mean? Did you see that thing where Morgan posted about the representative of his district?
No.
He was like, basically like, I'm not voting to legalize or decriminalize weed because it's not what my people want. And everybody's like, what do you know what I mean? Like, you represent this area. I'm pretty sure people want.
Yeah. Did you even ask them?
Yeah.
Did you ask those people what they wanted?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Morgan who posted that. His response to what Morgan
Well, yeah,
said.
we aren't, and I am in that category. I don't pay any attention to any of this at all.
Again, look how good things are. You don't have to pay attention if you don't want to.
It's going all right.
If you don't want to.
I never, I don't smoke. Wait, yeah. Well, I'm never around anywhere with marijuana. You know, there's no reason for any cop to even question me for anything ever.
I mean, it should still be legal though.
Yeah, it should still be legal. Yeah, it's ridiculous law.
Or you shouldn't go to jail for it if you only have like a certain amount. You know, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't know how we got on this topic, but yeah. Back to your whole point. I don't think there's a secret society that runs this country or this world. I really don't believe that anymore.
Oh, yeah. No secret cabal.
I don't. It used to be fun. It's still fun to think about that.
You think it's just a lot of foolishness? Like just kind of incompetence? Because it does seem like the way that the government handles a lot of things. It almost seems like there's deliberate destruction going on in certain things.
I think the powers that be, whoever they are, maybe it's a technocracy in cahoots with the government, whoever, the Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk of the world. I just think they're really good at what they do. and the people don't really care. I just think they've mastered psyops and they've mastered propaganda so good that nobody gives a fuck or nobody knows they're being psyop, including myself.
Oh yeah.
I just think that's what it is, man.
Chris Heiss really educated you.
That dude talks about real shit. We're talking about just,
Hell yeah.
fucking conspiracy. He talks about like the human psychology, man. He's crazy. He is a crazy dude. I love talking to him.
Yeah, he's
that
a cool
was a
guy.
wild
He
conversation.
annoys the shit out of me sometimes, but he's a cool guy.
Does he go on and on about that shit? Or
No,
what?
he just there's just certain things that he does, and I'm like, fucking Chris, just fucking heist. There he goes again, doing a heist thing, like refusing to wear shoes. You can't even see his feet. Whatever. We're not here to talk about Chris Heist.
Well, that's pretty gross.
It's not just about that. It's like, who cares?
That is also true. Who gives a fuck? But
It's such a big deal.
I'll say this.
He sticks to his shit, guy.
I'll say this, man. We saw what is remaining of Pantera with touring with Metallica in August, and Phil Anselmo was wearing no shoes on stage, and I was like, that's kind of a baller move. He's walking on stage singing in front of everybody
with no shoes
with no
on.
fucking shoes on.
Somebody
I was
just throws a
brown
syringe
as
on
fuck.
stage.
I'm like, dude. I was
They're
just
brown
like,
as
I was like,
fuck.
that's kind of a power move. I'm like, dude, he looks like he belongs at Schooners. That guy.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, good for you, man.
Yeah,
Good
that's
for
what
you.
I always say.
guys
I'm like, Phil Anselmo is like if somebody from Schooners like just made it big. Like that's what kind of dude he is.
This is the front man for Pantera.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. How old is he?
50s maybe?
He ain't got
No?
no.
Yeah, he's got to be in his 50s
How long has
now.
he been doing this,
Since
man?
the 80s?
I wouldn't fucking wear my shoes on stage if I'd been doing fucking concerts for 40 years. Are you kidding me, dude? Hell no. Think about it, he's like an aging rock star.
He also
That's what
used to
it
be
is.
like, he used to be a crackhead, then he got his shit together, and then the band got together, and then he was opening for Metallica. You know what I mean? So
Hell yeah.
in that, yes, he can do whatever the fuck he wants. He can have his
I mean,
dirty
it
ass
was
feet
cool.
wherever
It was
he
respect. It was
wants.
respect.
But
Hell yeah.
I mean, like, no
It just makes sense, is what I'm saying.
no disrespect to Chris Heiss. Like, he's not at that level, but Chris, you can wear no shoes. You have earned my respect in my book to wear no shoes. It's just gross as fuck to me. Like,
Hell
come
yeah.
on, dude. That's just fucking nasty.
I get it.
as
It's
fuck.
part of his whole thing, and that's what comes first.
How long have you been doing comedy?
About a year and a half.
Oh,
I'd say.
shit. You're young in the game, huh?
Yeah, I'm still fairly new. I feel like I've been doing pretty good though.
Yeah, man, I liked your set. You were the
You
stick man.
Yeah,
Right?
that's the only one you saw, right?
I seen you do an open mic once, but I didn't know who you were.
Oh, okay.
And
Now
I was
you
also
gotta come
fairly
see.
I was fairly bit of drunk.
So did you like Stickman?
I did. That was cool.
Yeah, stick figure. It's actually stick figure.
Stick a figure.
Yeah,
Sorry.
because I have that non-binary joke in there.
There you go. There you go.
So,
Yeah.
stick figure, I don't even know how I thought of that. It just one day I was planning and like buying the suit online, for the stick figure and gonna do it. And I wrote the jokes out and I'm like, I don't even know where this idea came from. It just came out of thin air. So it's a weird thing. And it doesn't hit as well as my regular comedy. Like some of the jokes, it's just hard to write stick figure jokes. It's just a difficult thing that I paid myself to. But it doesn't always hit as well, but it's still fun to do. I get through the whole 5 minutes, and even the jokes that don't hit, they stick in there because it's like I gotta fucking fill time. All right, maybe they don't hit this time.
I don't think people realize how long 5 minutes is. How long a minute is.
Oh yeah.
But 5 minutes, that's a long time.
Well, for me, it gets kind of short sometimes because I've been having so much fun doing this.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna be in Midland on Saturday. I'm headlining
This week?
This
Holy
Saturday.
shit.
I'm headlining the Eccentric Brewing Company. They have an open mic and comedy showcase every last Saturday of the month. So he'll have like an open mic beforehand, and then afterwards he'll have a feature act and a headlining act. And Chris Heist is actually going to be the feature act on that show, and I'll be headlining. So
Oh.
yes.
So how long do you do when you headline?
I think I'm going to get like 30 to 40 minutes, something like that.
You got that much material?
Yeah, it's not so much. Well, a lot of my material is crowd work.
Oh, yeah.
So as long as I can keep my energy where it needs to be and, just dig whatever I can out of the audience responses to try to get laughs. I think I can keep it because I got like 3 main crowd work questions that I like to ask the audience, and I got whole bits that lead into the question, you know. So and as long as I think I can get in 30 minutes, and then I also have a bunch of material. I do have a bunch of material that I can fall back on and just tell jokes that I remember. But you know, comedy, I'm still just like a year and a half in, so I'm still figuring out exactly what my act even is. Because comedians, they tend to have like a voice. You know, that's what I've heard.
From what I understand, that takes years.
That takes years. Yeah, so I'm not even too worried about that.
Yeah.
I know how to be funny. Like that's not
That's
difficult
like
for
the
me.
first step, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, you gotta be funny first.
Yeah,
that's the whole point of what we're doing. But
there's a difference between being funny and how to be funny, I think.
yeah, like
Yeah,
how to make it to be funny like on cue, or to be funny you know, with a microphone to an audience. And the audience is a big, it's just, you know, I'm still trying to figure out, because I got like a range of jokes. I have this whole bit about, do you want to hear a dark joke, a dirty joke, or a clean joke? And the reason I started doing that was because some audiences, they just didn't respond to certain jokes that other audiences were responding to. And I'm like, well, is it just because of like the content that it is, you know? And I was like, well, then I'll just ask them, because instead of trying to read the audience or figure out what joke's going to work on, I'm just ask them, like, what do you want to hear? Like, are you guys... And I probably could do different variations on that, but I just do the dark, dirty, clean, and then that lets me know kind of what the audience is. And you know what the most common response I get from that is dark.
Dark.
Everybody wants to hear dark. They always want to hear a dark joke, every single time. Not every time, but yeah, nobody ever says clean. Nobody ever says clean. So that trips me out, where it's like, well, people they aren't laughing at the darker stuff, but nobody ever says clean. So it's like, what the fuck do you want?
When a dark joke lands, it's pretty goddamn funny.
Yeah,
I'll give you that. It's like interesting to hear a dark joke really land, and that usually has to come from a place like. Where did your funny come from? I've always been like.
My funny came from a desire to impress my friends and my brothers.
You got older brothers?
I got 3 brothers. I got 2 younger ones and 1 older one. And but yeah, it was just always this thing in me, because I was always surrounded by either friends or siblings or whatever, and playing with, you know, I was never too lonely as a kid in that regard. I always had somebody to play with. And yeah, that was just part of, you know, boy culture, I guess, being a little boy or whatever, being with your friends and your brothers is just trying to be funny all the time, always trying to make each other laugh. So, and then there's also a little bit of a competitive part to that, because, you know, I grew up with 3 brothers and we're all very close in age. So there is that like a little bit competitiveness about it for me to try to be funnier than like other people. But there's nothing funny about like trying, you know what I mean? So then there is that kind of contradiction. So it's like trying to find workarounds. Like, no, I am trying, but like you got to be funny. So and it also, it just makes social situations easier. You know, it's an easy thing to try to fall back on, as far as like
a funny friend, I tell you. You know what I mean? Like having that friend that's funny.
Oh yeah,
him around's like, damn.
Yeah. It's always nice to everybody. You know, it's just.
Are you letting Nacho in?
Yes.
All right, let him in.
Hi, Nacho.
And plus, I suffered a lot of depression as a kid and stuff like that, and that's a good way to cope with that kind of stuff.
Did you grow up here?
Yeah, I moved out here I grew up in California for the most part until I was like 16.
Oh shit.
And then I moved out here to Lubbock. And yeah, I like to say that we moved out here from California before it was cool.
Yeah, before everybody started doing it.
Yeah.
We got a Nacho appearance. He hasn't been on in a while. Say what's up, Nacho. He almost said something.
He said click.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, I moved out here also because my sister lived out here at the time. She was married. Excuse me. And I think she was trying to have kids, or she was talking about or thinking about it with her husband at the time. So we moved out here because my mom was not going to be a distant grandmother. Like, absolutely not. She's that kind of person. But But then when we got out here, like a year later, they got divorced anyway.
Okay.
And then my sister's on her second marriage, which is going pretty good. I think that one's gonna stick this time. I should be talking shit on her.
If she's
Whatever.
listening, please subscribe. There you go.
But yeah, then I just been out here. Actually, I did live in Houston for a little while. My brother lives in Houston. My oldest brother. He works at the Improv in Houston, which
no
is
shit.
pretty cool. He gets to meet comedians all the time. He's met all my fucking comedians that I love and shit. He's met them in person, which pisses me off. Like he's met Tom Segura, Bert Kreischer, you know, which I like. I like those guys.
What do you think about Bert? Let's talk about that.
I think Bert is like a classic textbook. Got a lot of mental health issues that are just so plain. Like I've met delusional liars, and they're nice. They're nice. You know, they don't mean bad by it. They're not, and they don't. They're not being.
This?
Yeah. They're. What's up?
You think he's a delusional liar?
Yeah, he's absolutely. Because he can't even wait, is that the correct phrase? Yeah, delusional liar. Compulsive liar. I said, yeah, he is delusional, but compulsive liar. That's what I meant to say. Compulsive lying is a real thing. I have met people who have it.
I've met these folks
Yeah.
too, and I don't think he's that.
You don't think he's a
I
compulsive
think
liar?
his stories have been validated.
No, he's a compulsive liar in the sense when he tries to say he can do something that he clearly can't do.
Oh, that's being delusional, I would
Yeah.
say.
Yeah,
I
delusional.
don't even know if he's lying. I think he thinks like he can do it, but he does it.
I think he has been caught on some lies, hasn't he?
I don't know.
Yeah, I remember there was this clip where he was trying to say that Dr. Drew said that he wasn't unhealthy. Right.
Oh, okay. I get you. I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
I get
and
what
then
you're
they
saying.
called Dr. Drew.
Yeah.
And Dr.
yeah.
Drew was like, I didn't fucking say that.
I won't lie to you. I could argue that Bert is what got me here in terms of podcasting because I was so obsessed with that group of guys podcasting that I got here. So I love Bert. We saw him when he was here. I'm a big fan, but he got really annoying to me recently. I let the people get in my head, and I'm like, fuck, he is annoying.
All the critics, yeah.
Fuck, he is annoying.
He is super annoying, but I don't know. I've had a lot of friends. I've had a lot of annoying friends. And I think I've been the annoying friend a lot.
But
of
I'm
times.
also the type of guy that if you're annoying, I'm not gonna hang out with you. You're not gonna be my friend. Like I'm quick to be like, nah.
Just annoying.
That annoying.
Constantly.
Yes.
Constantly. I don't know if he's constantly like that though. What if he's
That's
not?
what I'm saying. I don't know, but I could see why people get upset. Like what you're saying, like he just tells stories, which people also don't understand. Is like, I don't do it at that level, but I'm constantly talking on this mic week in and week out. I could get you embellishing stories, you making up shit, just to have fucking filler.
Yeah.
In
And
a
he's a
pod.
comedian.
And a lot of people fucking take that at like, well, you're fucking that wasn't true. Yeah, it's not true. He's fucking selling. He's selling ads.
telling
on
a
it.
story.
He's telling a story.
Yeah.
He's got to make his money.
He's
I
painting
get
a
that.
picture. He's fucking.
And he's good at it. He's a good.
Yes, and I think with
He's
his
vocalizing
stand-up,
a skit.
I think that a lot of
yeah.
his critics, they don't give his stand-up the credit that it deserves because in these last groups of stand-ups that came out, or at least let's compare Sledgehammer even to Razzle Dazzle. Did you see both of
I
those?
loved them both. I did.
I loved them
both.
I think Razzle Dazzle. I like
Bro,
Razzle Dazzle.
when
a little
he
bit more.
told
I
the
don't know.
story, on Razzle Dazzle about farting in his dad's mouth, I almost fucking
That
died.
shit was funny.
You haven't seen Razzle Dazzle, have you? They did an escape room and he farted, so they had to crawl.
Yeah,
in his
they had
face,
to crawl through like
and everybody's
a tunnel.
freaking out and shit. And he farted, and his dad, who's a Vietnam vet, or in that era, they don't play no bullshit. He farted in that guy's face, and that guy was like freaking out. Is one of the, me. I love fart humor. That's what
Yeah.
I love the frat boy humor,
shit's
man.
funny. And then-
I love the humor, and Tom has a good way of. I honestly think Tom's one of the best comedians. I just like his style.
I mean, his last is just Sledgehammer is so dirty, dude.
I love
It's one of those things where, like, I tried to show it to my mom because I watched it. First, I watched it just by myself, and I really enjoyed it. But when you're by yourself, especially if you're like a 30-year-old dude, you don't really notice when you're enjoying something exactly how dirty it is. right? You don't realize.
Yeah,
You
hold
just
on,
remember
hold on,
you had a
hold on.
good time.
It's
What
fucking.
is he
I'm trying to get some
doing?
of this cat food. Dude.
Just get a little handful out so you don't dump it out.
Come on, he's good. Here. Hey. Oh shit, you're right now. Hey, buddy. That should keep him out. I don't like I don't feed him. I got you. Are you like me? Your mom's innocent?
Yes.
Trying to tell her. Like,
Yeah, well,
this
she's
is
not
your-
completely innocent because she has like told me dirty jokes before. Even when I was a kid, she would make dirty jokes sometimes, but like apparently mildly dirty because nothing compared to a Sledgehammer, you know, and some of the jokes that he has in there.
He talks about this is going to be completely out of context. Jacking off his son. There's a little joke on that. So yeah, I can see.
Have you seen Sledgehammer? Yeah, there's a joke. Yes.
It's like a little bit of the bit. He's like,
Yeah.
He's like, oh,
Yeah, I don't think he really did it. He was
No,
just joking about
He's talking about he was showering with his son and he threw his humor into showering with his son.
But it was more like the eating ass stuff.
Yes.
My mom's just like, oh, this is awful. I'm like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have turned this on. And then there's some stand-ups where I can't even put them on. But yeah, I liked Razzle Dazzle, I think, more than I liked Sledgehammer.
What'd you think about it? Beautiful Dogs?
That shit was the best one.
Best one.
Best one, absolutely. By
I truly think he's the best comedian besides Chappelle.
Dude, you ready for Saturday night?
Yeah.
Fucking SNL.
I have never watched an SNL in my life.
You're gonna watch this one?
This is why I'm wearing the shirt. Because Saturday is SNL.
Oh, fuck yeah. And that's gonna be your first episode you ever seen?
Yeah.
There's probably gonna a bunch of people
Probably.
who are gonna be tuning in to that fucking
you're
episode
gonna
just
get
because
good
it's Shane
ratings.
Gillis.
That's,
Yeah.
that's what somebody said on Twitter today. Like, what are they going to do with this spike in viewership?
Right?
And it's only going to be for that episode.
The dogs
And
are
then
going to be out.
nobody's gonna come back and watch the
No,
next shit.
why would-
Nobody.
why-
Why the
well-
fuck would they?
Well, Sydney Sweeney's hosting the next week, so they might. But why would any, you know, it hasn't been funny in years.
Yeah.
That's from what I've heard. I've seen clips of it.
It depends. It depends a lot on who they got on. If they got on somebody really good, like a Seth MacFarlane, because every single one of
alright.
his episodes are solid.
Well,
If they
he's
got,
perfect for that crowd, right?
Yeah. Well, he's perfect in sketch writing and stuff like
Yeah.
that. He knows. He's really good at it. So if you want to see some good modern SNL episode, that's not super modern. That one's probably like 10 years old, actually. I don't remember last time he was on. But yeah, it depends on who they bring on. And a lot of times they bring on some kind of boring actors or some shit like that. And just people not interested in.
I cannot wait.
And so you haven't seen any SNL? You didn't even watch
I've seen clips. I watched Chappelle's monologue.
Yeah.
That's about it.
What about the Nate Bargatze?
Nate Bargatze?
Yeah, Nate Bargatze,
No.
whichever one it is.
I mean, I like him. I think he's funny.
yeah,
I think it's interesting to be a clean comic. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, he's pretty funny. I can be clean. I can be clean.
You told me your clean joke. You remember when I did your podcast? You told me
Oh, okay.
you're clean. I didn't know that's
Oh,
what
yeah.
you're doing. Yeah,
Yeah,
clean.
I told you my clean joke.
You said, "Do you want to hear a clean joke? Do you want to hear?"
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
all right,
you-
yeah, that's what I was doing. Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't know that's what you were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
yeah. Well, it's an easy way to segue between jokes too. You know, because you got to try to come up with all right, next joke or whatever. Just be smoother, and it's also easier to remember jokes that way. And I don't know, I haven't done it in a while, but it's a fun thing that I did at the very beginning.
That fool
The comedy.
Bargatze, he came to Lubbock in December. I think.
I think I do remember that.
I
Yeah,
think he sold out.
hell
Buddy
yeah.
Holly,
And who else came in? Somebody was just here.
Felipe Esparza. I think. I don't know who was here. It's a good venue though. You ever been up there?
Yes, I saw Tom Segura there. And I think that was I think he was touring with Sledgehammer at the time.
Yeah.
And that was shortly after his dad died,
yeah.
right? When
yeah.
he was up here and he was
Yeah.
talking about his dad and shit. It was
Yeah.
crazy.
It sucks because I had to piss right when he was talking about his dad.
Oh, yeah, you were at that
Yeah.
show?
Yeah, I was at that show, and then
Fuck
I saw
yeah.
it in the special. I was like, oh, that's what he said.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't see him because I'm nearsighted and I have glasses. We're way in the back. So I never really laid eyes on him. It was just a blur. You know what I mean?
What that means, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just a blur. Like when you're nearsighted and you're way in the back in the fucking Buddy Holly Hall up in the bleachers and shit. It's just a blurry guy It's just like a blur moving back and forth on the stage. So I was kind of bummed about that I didn't see him. So, but like I heard him, and people assured me that he was in the room.
We went. You went to Burt with me, right? We went to Burt, and I at that time I was just such a big fan, and I forgot he does the Machine Story, and when he started, he was like,
that was the coolest shit.
I was like, oh my god, dude! I like my dick got hard, dog. I was like,
oh yeah.
No, but it was wild because it's like as soon as like that first line hits and it's so iconic, and everybody just got up and started like screaming. Like you would have thought you were like at like an actual concert.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It was just cool.
That
was
Like that was like the only like rock star moment I've seen.
It was like a religious experience. Man.
Hell
yeah!
Like,
oh shit! I forgot about that.
That's the only rock star. I create rock star moments all the time. You should come see my comedy. No, I don't.
Y'all killed it at La Mano Negra. I give you.
Yeah, that was fun. I wish
really
you should
did.
see some more of my. Because I'm going to tavern tonight. I don't know.
Oh, you got to go out there?
Yeah, it starts like. They say it's at 9, but they always start super late, and it depends on who's hosting. I could probably get on towards the end. I could probably.
What time did we start? Do you know?
I think we were only like 30 minutes in.
We can get you out. About 40 minutes.
We're 45 minutes in already.
Oh shit!
Oh.
All right. Well, yeah.
Oh, that was
that's
good.
really it's that's what's tough about getting you guys on is y'all, because we do these on Wednesdays,
Oh yeah.
or I think we might start going back to Mondays, but we've been doing them on Wednesdays, and I know you guys are busy. Wednesday,
Yeah.
Thursday,
I
Friday.
don't think you would. I don't think you'd have too much trouble getting a comedian to skip an open mic. Or I'm probably gonna make it to this one. You know what I
I
mean?
hope you do. I like to see y'all hustle, man.
Yeah, well, yeah, you got to get that stage time. That's the most important thing.
I'm not a comedian, but I consume so much of comedian content. That's what they say. You should, like, if you're asking me, and I know Lubbock is a not the spot, but like you should be doing open mics every day almost. That's what.
Yeah.
Shout out to Joey Diaz, my boy. Happy birthday. That's what he's been telling me.
Yeah. I wish I lived in a place like
where you
Austin or New York where I
Yeah.
could, and I absolutely would.
I mean, I get it, like-
every single opportunity I get to go on stage and do my shit, even if it's. And I wanted to. That's why I try to write the cleaner material and stuff I could do for any audience, because I want to be able to get on any show. You know, I want to be able to bust out and be funny, no matter where I am. And I've messed that up a couple times, but those are mistakes you make.
I mean, I respect, like, if it's your show, your rules type shit. But I don't quite understand having rules on your comedy show. I don't get it.
What kind of rules?
I mean, come on now. Things you can say and you can't say.
Well,
I don't get that. I mean, I do, but I don't. Like, that's like,
if you're in a venue,
I mean, that's what I mean. I get it.
and like the venue may not feel comfortable with certain words being spoken into a microphone.
Again, I understand that. That's what I mean when I say I understand that.
Yeah.
But it's like, comedy is art, man.
Yeah, it is art. But but we don't have any comedy clubs in town. And if it was a comedy club,
I guess
then you should. The comedy club wouldn't be able to say shit, because that's what those walls are for.
That's what I'm missing.
But right
This is
now
what I was missing.
we are letting bars
You're
are
at
giving
bars.
us the opportunity to perform at their venues
in Lubbock, Texas.
So yeah, there's a level of, when it comes down to it, it's not a comedy club,
It's
it's
just
a
fair.
bar.
It's just weird
It's
that
just
it was
fair.
just weird. Like I
Yeah.
don't know, like bar PM. Like why would they ever say?
Yeah,
Maybe
they
it's-
wouldn't
maybe,
say
maybe
he
it's
doesn't.
not those bars. You know? What I
Yeah,
mean?
well, bar PM
I
is
mean,
darker.
and you got to think about it. Like, okay, so as a business, they probably are technically like, well, fuck it. Like, let them do what they're gonna do. But a business like that across from a university, you're gonna have some people that are going to just pretty much like find offense in the smallest minute.
Wait, is there rules at? There's no rules at bar PM.
I was trying to say it without saying the places I'm talking about, not
yeah.
bar PM.
Oh.
I'm not
Oh,
talking
Well,
about
I'm
bar
just
PM,
saying.
you
I
know?
mean, or even just
No,
like us being
yeah,
a
but-
college
yeah, but
town,
when it
or
comes
even
down
just
to
it
it,
being
they
like
are just-
2024, like they have to protect their business, because all it's going to take is just one person giving that restaurant a bad review for
I mean-
having these comedians. Like, they're not going to go after the comedian; they're going to go after the fucking
Yeah.
I mean,
business. you know.
Yeah, you gotta make your money. You gotta stay
Yeah.
in business. I get that. You're right though. You hit it on the
Yeah, if
on
there
the
was
nose.
a comedy
it's
club
a comedy
in town.
club, lack of comedy club that it is.
Yeah.
Because I just like, man, And again, I mean, I don't mean to get like that, but like just policing speech really pisses me off.
You know,
it really pisses me off.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like 3 words. It's just like 3 words.
It means there's one word. You know what I mean? It's just one word. Don't say that one word, and we're all good.
Yeah, for you it's one word. But for them, it's 3 words. And, you know, if you really, really need those words to be in the joke, there is, word. You know?
But I get it. I just, my bad. I'm just complaining.
And I like using gay, like the way Shane Gillis uses gay. It was fun, you know? I've done gay things in my life. All right?
You have?
Yes.
All right,
yeah.
There you go.
And so, bisexuality is a little more fluid.
I love having comedians on because I can talk about this with y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all don't give a fuck.
And so I just think it's like it's just.
And I'm gonna look like a hypocrite because I'm about to bleep out. I'm gonna police my own speech and bleep out the words that we just said. So.
Oh yeah. I mean? Well,
I'm gonna look like a hypocrite, but I mean I get it. I just it's not even just with comedy. It's with any sort of art. I just don't see why you would.
Well, that's a national conversation.
Yeah. But again, you got a business to run.
Yeah.
You got family to feed.
Yeah,
I get it too.
Like I said, if it were like a comedy club or something and they were policing people's speech, that would be super weird.
Apparently they do it too, though. So I don't know.
Well, I don't know. Maybe depends. If you're in LA, probably.
Have you? Yeah, probably. Have you performed at comedy clubs?
No, never have. It's always been breweries and bars.
You haven't gone down to Kill Tony and try to get on there?
No, I haven't had the money to get down there, dude. I would fucking kill to get on Kill Tony.
I've been listening to him more and more. I never did. Now I have.
There's a lot of They're just. I know what material I would do. Maybe there's these jokes that I want to do that people have told me not to, and then told me not to do these jokes, and other people, like I said, other people have been like, go for it, and I want to do the jokes because they're some of my most controversial jokes. Let's just say where I've actually gotten in legit trouble from telling these jokes on stage. I did a it was like a Halloween thing, oddity show convention here in town over at the Civic Center or whatever.
Oh, God bless.
And there had a bunch of acts, and one of the acts was Laugh Up City. You know, we were supposed to be a bunch of comedians, and then maybe I shouldn't say his name.
We can bleep it.
He was organizing it, and I asked him if I could be on it, and he was like, yeah, and this was months before. And then when the event came, I was the only one who showed up. I was the only person there. He wasn't even there. We had to wake him up. Finally got a hold of him. And they asked me, they're like, well, can you do comedy? How long can you do? I'm like, I could do like 20 to 30 minutes. And they're like, all right, cool. And so I started doing it, and then I started doing these jokes. And then this one, the guy, he came, he told me to wrap it up. Like I think I was on there for like maybe 10 to 15 minutes. And towards the end, I started doing these jokes. And I guess because of these jokes in particular that I was doing.
What are they pertaining towards?
They're...
Oh, okay. All right.
That's just the subject matter.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, that's kind of I feel like they're really well structured jokes. I really like them. I really like the way they're written. And it is unfortunate that happens to be what they're about. It's unfortunate, but that's just my personal views on something that I don't completely understand. You know, that's where some of my comedy comes from. And maybe I don't know. Do you want to hear the bit?
Oh,
this bit got me in trouble. So after I did this bit on stage, they told me somebody wrote this horrible review about me and just said so many, like Morgan. I remember Morgan sent it to me. Somebody said something on Facebook about the whole situation, and apparently I triggered somebody's PTSD.
I can see that. I can see that with those people over there.
Yeah. So
how did you make it funny?
So how did I make
what's
what
the
funny?
bit?
How did you make that subject matter?
So
funny?
the joke.
Yeah.
You want to hear
Sure,
this joke?
let's
You
hear it.
ever heard of that you liked?
Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Come on, just tell us.
Okay, so
Fucking word
basically it's
here.
like I wish I was more confident. You know, I wish I was a more confident guy. You know, because I'm always so concerned about what other people think about me. It's always You know, it always worries me. I have so much anxiety about it. You know, I wish I was more confident. I wish I didn't care what other people thought. You know, sometimes I wish I had like the confidence, but without the part, without the no at all. I like consensual sex. It's just they don't care what anybody thinks about them. You know, they don't care that much. You know, and I wish I didn't care. But like I like consensual sex. I want to make that very clear. That's very clear. Like I'm an open micer. You know, I thrive off of positive feedback, and you're not going to get that from. So I just want to make that very clear. I like consensual sex. I'm just saying, like they're confident guys. They're go-getters, you know. And I wish I had that attitude about aspects of my life. Not. I'm not. I don't know. I wish I had confidence. I wish I was more confident.
Okay, I get it now. I get it. You know what? In a more lax crowd, I could see that being funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess you just didn't know your audience.
Yeah, well, it was a bunch of gory, violent shit all over the place. It was a Halloween show. There was violence being depicted at every booth. There were people walking around all bloody. Somebody was dressed as the Terrifier. Have you ever seen the Terrifier?
Okay, it's awesome. I love that movie.
Yeah, he cuts off a lady's tits, dude.
It's fake.
That happened in that movie.
This is all fake shit.
Yeah, and I'm not... Okay, so then the joke continues on, because that's like the first minute of the joke. And I would do that on Kill Tony, stretch it out to a minute.
They would laugh.
They would laugh?
They would laugh.
So then after they finish laughing and towards the end I'd be like, all right, we all, oh yeah, part of the bit is I asked the crowd, I'm like, hey, everybody make some noise for consensual sex. All right, give it up for consensual sex. And everybody would start clapping, right? Except some people, if you're not clapping, then I would call you out for not clapping. You know, like if I see a whole table that's not clapping, I'd be like, oh, look at table here. They want to make noise for consensual sex, you know? And that's part of the bit. That's part of it. It always gets laughs.
That's funny, actually.
Yeah. Look, they don't want to make noise for consensual sex. I'm making noise for consensual sex, and I can get behind it.
That would be funny.
Yeah, so I do that as part of the bit, and then I go, okay, so we're all agreed. We all love consensual sex. We're all about it. And everybody's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, cool, because I just have one joke. Just one more. Just one more gonna get out.
I'm not going to lie to you, brother. I didn't think you could make it funny, but that could make it funny.
Okay, so, and then I asked the audience, I got one more here. And this would be like, okay, so if I did that on Kill Tony, I would do that whole bit. That would be a minute right there, that bit. And then when I say, so we like consensual sex, and they're like, yeah. And I'm like, well, I had another, but sadly I'm out of time. But that might make him go, well, let us hear, especially if my bit just went really good. Especially if the crowd fucking loved it. He'd be like, no, let us hear the other joke. I'd be like, it's on another minute. He'd be like, all right, go ahead. You know, if he does that, this is the next minute I would do. I'd be like, all right, so, you know, some people, they have like fantasies, right? You've heard of these people. They have fantasies. That's pretty.
I've heard women say this. Yes.
That's pretty weird, right? That's a weird fantasy to have. Like how do you fulfill that fantasy, right? How? Like you do frequent dark alleyways or something? Like what's going on there? And what happens when you find that dark alleyway? You know, with one of those guys. You know, guy I'm talking, confident guy. You know what I'm talking about, right? And like, what if like he's in there and then he's like, hey baby, I like to smell your cookies or whatever. I don't know how I don't know any this. I don't know what their lingo is or whatever. I've never seen this play out. I'm not familiar with this whole scenario. I'm just saying, like, what if he's like, I'm gonna get those cookies, like the Cookie Monster. I don't know. I've never met a rape. I've never seen this. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, but like, what if while in that he notices that she's kind of letting it happen, like she's kind of into it. And he's like, wait a minute. Are you into this? Can't we just have regular sex? And she's like, no, I have fantasy. You have to. And he's like, you know, that doesn't count. Right? And she's like, you know what? That's a good point. So she puts on a strap-on dildo and she the guy. Yeah.
You know, man, if somebody understands comedy, they're going to see that as funny. But that crowd probably did not. Well,
they didn't
they obviously did not understand.
They did not like it at all. They did not like it at all.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you have to understand your crowd, brother. I know that crowd that you're talking about. You fucked up sorely saying that shit, brother.
Really bad.
God damn, bro. You really did.
That's not even my most horrendous shit, I think, that I've said. Maybe that is some more horrendous shit I've said.
All right, let me back off on some people because I can see why they would tell you don't tell that joke. All right, I'm sorry. I was wrong. You know.
But did you think it was funny, though?
Funny is funny. And
you thought that shit was
some
funny?
Yes, I guess I will admit some of that was funny. I'll give you that. But Jesus Christ, brother, I did not expect it to go that way. Welcome to Snake Pit, people. God damn. Funny's funny though.
Yeah. I don't think that's my most horrendous joke.
God, you have something worse than that? I don't want to hear it.
Okay, so would you ever play?
No, we're good. We're good on that one. We're good. We're already gonna get in trouble for what you just said. So
I can make it worse. I get
no.
just one more.
No. You can tell it on stage. Go check
I've
them
gotten
out.
in fucking people getting mad at me when I tell this on stage. They're like, "You walked the crowd." Like I didn't fucking walk the crowd.
All right. I take back everything. I can see like
they were dicks.
You go into a bar and then you hearing that and you're not expecting to hear that. Yeah, I can see why that upsets you.
You think Kill Tony's crowd would like it?
Yes, I do actually, because they're fucked up people.
Yeah, I think they'll fucking love it.
Because he literally today I was listening to Kill Tony and this guy's dad killed himself and they were literally joking and telling him you're the reason he killed himself. So yeah, they would.
Yeah, I saw that episode
today.
It's a fucked up show.
The one that came out. Yeah, it was like, oh yeah, these guys are crazy. I've never really listened to them. And
you just listen to it. You don't watch it.
This is my I don't watch. I listen when I'm at work.
Dude, it's watching stuff, man. Kill Tony.
Yeah, Ari Shaffir showed his nutsack today, so
oh yeah,
I probably should have watched it.
They blurred it. They blurred it. It's probably on like Patreon or whatever, but they blurred it on YouTube.
What was I going with that? I was about to tell you something.
You were talking about his nutsack. We're talking about Kill Tony. I'm probably gonna do that minute.
Oh no, your podcast. Hold that. I'm gonna talk about your podcast in a minute. I have to piss like a motherfucker.
Okay.
Sorry. I had to piss. What were y'all talking about?
I was talking about I'm excited for Saturday.
Oh yeah, in Midland.
Yeah, Midland headlining. It should be a good time. I think I'm gonna do all right if I just keep my energy up and just I can always fall back on those questions. You know what I mean? And just that's what I like about how I figured out that I'm good at crowd work. Because it's an easy way to fill time, You don't got to remember so many jokes. You just got to... This is basically going on stage and just being funny. Just be funny. That's it.
Is it hard to remember jokes?
Yeah, it can be. I mean, if your jokes are really funny, you're really excited about them, I find it's not too hard. I do end up, like... I used to bring my notes for probably the first 6 or 7 months I was doing comedy. I always brought my notes on stage and would read them. But then I just got to a point where I didn't want to do that anymore. I feel like I feel like they were holding me back, sitting there trying to read the notes all the time instead of focusing on how my energy is or how I feel in the moment. And I stopped bringing my notes and I just started forcing myself to remember my jokes. And it started working. And I would obviously forget jokes. You always forget jokes. And then you get off stage and you're like, fuck, I forgot to say that or I forgot to say this punchline. But there's always tomorrow or there's always next week. You can always come back and do it again. And I don't even record myself really. A lot of comedians, they record every single set, and people say that's the best advice. Record yourself. I'm like, well, if that works for you, record yourself. But I know what I look like. I know what I sound like. That's not really what I'm going for. I'm going for how I feel when I'm up there. Because if I feel good and I'm in the good mood, that's how I can be, the funniest that I can be. I think it's most important. Like one of the most important things is how you feel when you're up there. Because then you have like total control of how you're expressing yourself and how you're just being funny, and then you can focus on being funny because that's like the most important thing. Going up there every week and reciting the same exact material every time, I don't know, it just seems boring to me. It also makes the whole process boring because then I get tired of my jokes, and that's probably a flaw I have, is not practicing material that's worked in the past and kind of perfected or honing it or whatever, and always trying to move on to the next thing. And but that's just, I think that's like the ADHD part of my personality that just is already, if I did something or I said something, I'm bored of it already. And it doesn't even matter to me if the audience has never heard it before. Like I've heard it a million times. I don't want to say it again.
How well do you think this would do? Because I've been thinking about doing this, hosting a roast battle between comedians.
Do you roast?
No, but I think it would be funny to do.
All right, but if I'm ever in one of your roast battles, you best believe I'm going to be chucking roasts at the host all day long.
Free game.
It might even have to be the roast of Rattlesnake Roy, because you know how like
No.
each comedian they'll roast the host, but they roast everybody on the panel.
Yeah.
So it would probably.
Oh no, I'm free game.
the roast.
I'm free game.
When's your birthday? You want to set up a roast for your
November.
In November. No, I'm free game. You could do it all you want. But or something like that. Like I really like. I'm not gonna try to still kill Tony's idea, although it's a fucking most brilliant idea ever. I want to host some sort of comedy night.
Well,
and I do think I could do it.
You think you can draw an audience? You with your podcast?
Yeah, I think.
You think you can for sure draw in an audience?
Enough, but I need it to be. First of all, I need the audience to be okay with extreme jokes like you just told, but I need it. I need enough comedians for it to work for like an hour, less, maybe a little bit, 45 minutes to an hour.
Okay. Here's what you need.
Okay, yeah. Tell me what I need.
You need an audience. You need an audience for sure that you think you can get. How many listeners do you have on your podcast?
Oh well, I'll tell you this. We did a live podcast, and the crowd was full. It was full of people.
I would say we pulled about like 35 people, 40 people.
In the venue I'm talking about, it's a smaller venue, so it would look a little bit more compact. I think we could get that. But I'm not gonna half-ass anything, so I'm also willing to do this week in and week out, or on a scheduled basis enough to grow an audience. I'm also willing to do that.
Yeah.
But
I think you would have to bring if you're gonna go to like approach a venue to try to do this, you would have to bring like something that shows that you can bring an audience.
I think I have a venue, so I'm not really worried about that, and it's not a bar. We can talk about it later, but the thing is like having enough comedians to come on. I think I could do that.
Yeah, I think there's
enough funny comedians. How about that?
Yeah, I think there's some funny comedians in this town that would
willing
be down
to
do
roast
something
each
like
other.
that. Would roast each other. We've done roasts before.
Yeah.
I hosted a roast for Morgan.
I bet that was fun.
Yeah, it was a good time. It's on YouTube.
Okay, there you go.
I don't know if it's probably got like 7 views, but
That's how many.
but yeah, that was a good
So
time.
it's all good, brother.
That was a good time. I always enjoyed roasting, so I'd be down. And I know there's a few people that know how to write roast jokes. Here's the thing, though: you also have to be careful. You don't want to step on anybody's toes, I guess, because I have heard that there are certain people who have a little bit of influence in Lubbock that if they feel like that you're doing something that's a little too similar to something that they do annually, you might be
And then they
copy.
can kiss our ass because we don't fucking consider those things. We do what we want to do.
I'll go on record saying this. First, she's right. We do what we want to do. But I don't give a fuck about that because if you're good at what you do, you shouldn't worry about us doing something similar.
Yeah. We've already encountered that.
You obviously don't do a good enough job if you're worried about us doing something similar.
And if anything, we would be like on like such like a starting basis. You shouldn't worry about our baby asses
at all. Yeah. At all. But also, here's what I think is the cool part: is we're not comedians, so we don't give a fuck. So we have nothing to lose. So it'll be so much more fun.
Okay.
I think it'll be so much more fun.
One thing about the snake pit, we're delusional as fuck.
So why do you want to do this?
Smoke our weed, and we're gonna have a good time.
Shout out to my boy Chase and shout out to Jennifer for bringing this idea to me. And I'm heavily influenced by Kill Tony's idea of a live podcast. So if we could incorporate it being a podcast episode, it would be views for us. I mean, selfishly, bring in. I'm not even care about making money. Like, I just want to bring in an audience to do views. If we can start charging people to make money, pay out some people, that'd be cool. But for now, I think it'd be so fun.
So you just want to
You're gonna have to snowball it how we did Lords.
Pretty much. And I don't want to disrespect nobody, but I've heard of the things that have gone on here, and I just want to be like, dude, you could do it without giving a fuck.
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? Like, it's just be funny because I don't care. I have nothing to gain out of it other than views.
You just want to do like a roast,
something similar to that. Maybe some like.
Do you want to do like a game, some kind of game show?
Yeah, something similar to that because we have like this wheel. And even my other friend was talking about like showcasing people's talents. I do like the idea of a 1 minute set of somebody doing something different every week. That's cool. That's literally what Kill Tony is. But I I would want it to be more free in terms of say what you want, because I think that would be so fun. And if it's not tied to any bar or any venue, then you can be even more free.
Yeah.
Right? So
You want a platform for you where you can say whatever.
yeah. Well, that's what this is, first of all. But I
Okay.
want to do it live.
All right.
I'm literally not trying to mock you, but you're literally trying to create a safe space.
A safe free speech space. Yeah.
You want something like the mothership or what that's supposed to represent.
That is exactly what I want.
Like a scouting ship.
But it would be so. But I think to start off, it would be fun to start off roasting each other, and we're like me, Jen, and a few other in the back laughing at you guys roast each other. Because I'm starting to make friends with you guys and be cool with you guys, and I want to see you guys like work out something new every week. I think that'd be fun, or every other week, or every whatever. But
I think that there's some very talented people in Lubbock comedy, but it's not like a lot of people.
yeah, maybe so. Maybe like once a month.
Even if we can do five to six comedians, that seems like not a lot.
Do
but
something new.
I want to hear you guys roast Rafa, because I want to see Rafa's ass get roasted.
You got you, Morgan, Rafa for sure.
Chris Heist. I like D. I don't know if you know D comedy. He's a little Mexican dude. I really
You
like
got
that
to
dude.
laugh.
Yeah, he came on the conversation, but that
Yeah.
fella,
Dylan?
Dylan Zavula.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy.
I fucking like that guy too.
And I really like Tanner.
Tanner's cool.
And
Have you interviewed Tanner?
He's coming on in March.
Oh, nice. Hell yeah.
And
Tanner's
I really
cool.
liked him. And also, because I've had a few beers, it would be funny to ruffle some feathers in Lubbock. See who gets mad. Like, again, it's like you shouldn't be upset if you're doing it good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you want to put together? Well, you know what? I would say look at some New York comedy. See what they got going on and what they're doing on stage. A lot of time when they bring multiple comedians on stage, I know they like to do different stuff.
Like Legion of Skanks?
Yeah, like Legion of Skanks or something like that. Or they'll have there's something else. You ever watch Stand Up on the Spot? So Stand Up on the Spot is this show made by Trevor. What the fuck? That's not his name. Jeremiah Watkins, and he used to be in the band on Kill Tony, like a while ago. But then he was fired for like trying too much to get like as just contributing too much to the comedy instead of just being the band. And that's why he has the band he has now. That's just the band. But anyway, Jeremiah Watkins does this show once a month where he has like a lineup of 5 or 6 comedians usually. And they're each doing around a 15-minute set where they just take suggestions from the audience on what to do stand-up about, or what to joke about. And it can go really bad or it can go really good. But you can see your favorite comedian just bombing really bad. That's one of fucking Shane Gillis's sets on that show has gone viral a few times. That's when he first came up with when he first talked about the whole Down syndrome people are dogs. And
Oh, really?
Autistic people are cats. That's from Stand Up on the Spot.
Oh,
He
my
came up with
God.
that whole bit on
I do.
Stand Up on the Spot.
Okay.
Because somebody yelled out Down syndrome.
I've
and
seen
that's when
that.
He got into that. Yeah.
That's why they yelled it out.
Yeah, they yelled it out because he was taking suggestions from the audience.
Oh, dude. Okay, I get it now.
And there's some people that are really good at it, and there's some people that are really
All right,
bad at it.
So you would be willing to help me figure this out, because I think
Yeah,
it'd be a
if
really
we
good
could,
idea.
if we could do something fun, and that's like a
So
fun.
I don't want that crybaby bullshit. That you said so, whatever. I don't want that. I just want to have fun. Also, let me ask you this: would y'all be willing to do it for free for a little bit, because we're not gonna be able to make money for a while?
Stage time is valuable to all of
Okay.
us, and it should be
All right.
like everybody at my level, everybody at our level should understand how valuable stage time is, no matter what.
Oh, we'd be more than willing to give you guys that.
Yeah, so that's the most important currency for it.
Can we talk to Chase tomorrow?
Yeah, when we see him,
I'd be down,
Fuck yeah, fuck yeah.
and I'll talk to some other guys.
we'll get
about
the
it
idea
tonight.
about it.
And you probably will pull a really decent crowd, because you'll have the 806 crowd, you'll have your crowd, and then each comedian will bring their people. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure, like, just people that frequent those comedy
but like
nights
for
will-
sure, figure out exactly what you want to do. Though,
That's what I'm
'cause
saying.
you
Will
do
you help
something
me
really
figure out the
Okay.
premise of it all, and then you and your buds, who are also my buds.
So you want to host it?
Of course, yeah. Well, no, yeah, because I want it to be on my YouTube channel, like Snake Pit.
If you could do like a game show thing
I've been thinking about that too.
where you ask questions and everybody's a comedian, and we try to give our funniest answers or whatever.
Well, let's not get into details. We can figure that out later.
Yeah.
But you would be willing to help me?
If you could, yeah. If you want to do, I think improv might be one of the better ways to go. Trying to do like an improv thing.
Like, all right, I'm just going to throw that. Like what you were saying, but it'd be like me, Jen Bradley, and a few others giving you guys ideas what to talk about.
Yeah. Something like that.
And
Yeah,
then,
we can come up with like a game.
I don't want to give too much out. But then again, we could like,
You're
does anybody want to come on?
Your podcast is over with, and you got to cut all this shit out.
Yeah, we do.
Like you're
Oh yeah, I
essentially-
gotta get out of here.
You got to get out of here?
Yeah, I gotta go to the open mic.
All right, man. Well, can you give them your socials? We'll talk about this later. I think this is going to be a good idea. We'll talk about
Oh, yeah.
Chase.
Rikky Lee Reed on Facebook. I guess if you want to add me, I could hop on your post and like talk shit about you and whatever you posted. I don't know. I like to do that sometimes. Or Ricketus on Instagram. You can check me out. I'll be in Midland on Saturday. I don't know if anybody's. This is not going to be out by then. Yeah, this won't be
Sorry,
out.
brother. I hope people came out.
Yeah, I hope people came out for that. Otherwise, you can catch me every Wednesday at Lantern Tavern at the open mic down there. Come check us out. Me and my friends telling jokes. Also, every Thursday at Bar PM. Come check us out there. And then every other Tuesday at Cafe J. If you want to get specific dates and times, follow Laugh Up City on any social network, and also West Texas Comedy Collective. There's Morgan's organization. So
Shout out to Morgan.
yeah, shout out to Morgan. Thank you guys so much.
What's your podcast called?
Fuck you do, fuck you done.
That was a fun. I had a really good time.
Yeah, it was fun. I like.
That's a really that was my whole point earlier. It's a really interesting concept. Hope people check it out.
Yeah,
I was on there. It was fun.
yeah. I feel like there's endless. Like I could talk to anybody. You know, everybody's got some shit to say about their job. Everybody's got jobs. But hell yeah, thank you guys so much for having me on.
Yeah, man. We'll get together and talk about this other idea.
Hell yeah, definitely.
We'll see y'all.
See
Jen, got anything?
Lord's movie night, March 20th. We're showing Drive. All you Ryan Gosling freaks, pull up. That's
Snake
it.
Pit or patreon.com/Snake Pit Studios. We'll see you guys next week or next time, whatever.